Welcome at Past 25. These are the highlights from the mini symposium. I'm here with Nick Brown, who is the organizer of the symposium Moving Towards a More Sustainable HPC Ecosystem, a Full Stack Approach. So Nick, obvious question to start. Can you summarize what was your mini symposium about?
Yeah, well, obviously we care a lot about the sustainability side, and it's a major focus of the conference this week. But there's so much that we need to think about in terms of the entire ecosystem. So what we decided to do is pick a few different topics and then have a panel at the end that would tie all the threads together and try and connect to this wider overarching thing. So we had a speaker presenting about novel energy efficient architectures and the challenges of bringing codes onto these. We also had another speaker talking about machine learning and bringing machine learning into HPC, but also for weather and climate. And actually, fascinating, I thought, delivering new capabilities for climate modelling. And then lastly, we had a speaker from NCAR talking about what they've done in their data centre to move to a more sustainable operation.
So very diverse, but very also international, as I understand from your summary. So, but then it seems like you had very exciting discussions because you also have a panel, the panel in the end. So, what are the highlights of your today mini symposium?
Well, I sort of cheated on this because what I did at the end is I asked each of the panelists to give me their prediction for the next few years of how we were going to change in the HPC community to meet the requirements placed upon us for sustainability. Yeah. And what was fascinating is they all pretty much agreed that AI and machine learning is crucial, but it's a double-edged sword. And we have to worry about all the overhead of the training and how we actually manage that. The embodied carbon was also another thing. And actually, how do we track that? And how do we accurately manage that? And not be at the mercy of just numbers thrown out there. And lastly, the importance of green energy to power our supercomputers. And really to promote that and maybe also think about locating some of the workloads to these areas that have an abundance of this. And what really struck me was the challenges around all of these. Okay,
but these are extremely interesting and actually very actual current discussion that we are having everywhere. You were also at ISC last week, so this is becoming the discussion to have, how we can continue the way we are used to, but in a more sustainable way. But then not to lose the momentum that you have gained by being here at the past conference. I know that you are not a first-timer. You have come, and it's very nice to see you again at the previous past conference. What are the next steps? How will you keep the momentum?
I mean, one of the fantastic things about PASC, and the reason I keep coming back, is the community. And what's really struck me this week is all the fascinating things going on in the sustainability side. Now, our mini symposium was organised by a project called Continents. It's a collaboration with us in Edinburgh, NCAR in the US, and NCAS in the UK. But what I think this has enabled us to do this week is connect with a lot of the other activities going on in the wider world. And there's so much that we weren't aware of. So that's the major thing I'm taking away and what's really excited me.
And perhaps also to keep the network live and maybe even growing in other meetings and other conferences. Thank you, Nick. It's always nice to talk to you, and you are another one full of enthusiasm. Thank you for coming, and thank you all.